Good evening, you're with Up South for all the top news stories of the day from South India with me, T.S. Sudhir. Our top story this evening on Up South is from Chennai, where 2 students of Class 8 died when a wall collapsed at their school in the Basantnagar locality of the city. In fact, this incident took place during the lunch break when the children were playing tied to a rope which was tied to the wall, which collapsed, and the 2 of them died on the spot, while one of them is critically injured and rushed to hospital. This area where the incident took place was at the backyard of the school compound. The parents are demanding action against the school authorities. The home orphanage provides shelter and educates girls from the weaker section of the society, and an FIR is to be filed against the school management for negligence.
We are staying at RRC Chennai, ADR Community Hall, and when we received a message about the building collapse, then we rushed towards this building, and after coming this place, already we inspected the broken walls, and then we cleared the area. But there is you have already recovered 2 dead bodies and 1 dead body.
2 school children died and 1 critically injured after a section of school wall collapsed when the children were playing near the wall during their lunch hours. According to the NDRF team, the wall was already in a dilapidated state. Police have registered a case and the investigation is on. Parents, however, say that the school administration did not take any steps to renovate the school. Then they should have prohibited the children from entering this particular area and alleged that the school authorities did not take any preventive measures to either bring down the wall or prevent the children from entering this particular spot, which is already in an unstable state. With camera person Daniel Srisha Reddy in Chennai for Headlines Today.
Tragic story there from Chennai. In fact, the Tamil Nadu government has announced a compensation of 3 lakh rupees each to the families of the 2 children who died in that wall collapse at the school in Chennai. And they have also decided to provide for the treatment of Sandhya, the other student who is critically injured and admitted to hospital at the moment. News now from Kerala, and this is a heartrending story of an SOS that has been sent by a 12-year-old daughter to the Chief Minister of Kerala, Umman Chandi. She wants the Chief Minister to help rescue her mother, who is in captivity in Kuwait. Revathi Rajivan reports from Kerala, and if you want to tweet on this story, do that with the hashtag #BringSanitaBack.
ഞാൻ അമ്മയെ കണ്ടിട്ട് 3 വർഷമായി. എനിക്ക് എൻ്റെ അമ്മയെ കാണാൻ വളരെ ആഗ്രഹമുണ്ട്. എൻ്റെ അമ്മ എങ്ങനെയെങ്കിലും നാട്ടിലെത്തിക്കണം. സ്കൂളിൽ എല്ലാ പിള്ളേരും അമ്മയെ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന് എനിക്ക് മാത്രം കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ കഴിയുന്നില്ല.
Bring my mother back. That is the desperate and heart-rending plea made by Shrikuti, a 12-year-old girl from Kottayam, to the Kerala Chief Minister Umman Chandi, seeking his help in getting her mother back from Kuwait. Sanita was working as a housemaid in Kuwait ever since the year 2011. Her family alleges that the sponsors did not let her return even after the contract period and that she was mentally and physically abused.
6 മാസം ഒരു കൊല്ലം വരെ നല്ല സന്തോഷമൊക്കെ ആയിരുന്നു. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ അവൾ പറയാറുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, ഇവിടെ നിൽക്കുന്നതിൽ ഭയങ്കര ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്, ഇവർ ശരിയല്ല, അവർ ഭയങ്കര പാടൊക്കെയാണ്, ഭക്ഷണമൊന്നും കൊടുക്കത്തില്ലായിരുന്നു.
In August last year, Sanita's father passed away and she was not allowed to return home. Sanita decided to run away with her documents and approach the Indian embassy officials. But the officials reportedly handed her documents back to her sponsors and sent her to a shelter home. Her sponsors filed a case of theft, alleging valuables had been stolen. But Sanita's family pleads innocence.
വേലെന്തോ ഗർഭയുണ്ട്, മോഷണ കേസാണ് കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നത്, അത് അവിടുത്തെ ക്രിമിനൽ കുറ്റം എന്നൊക്കെയാണ് പറയുന്നത്. പക്ഷേ ഇവളവിടുന്ന് മോഷ്ടിച്ചിട്ടില്ലൊന്നുമില്ല. അവിടുത്തെ സാധനം പോലും മുഴുവൻ എടുക്കാതാണ് അവൾ നേരെ ഇന്ത്യൻ എംബസിയിലേക്കാണ് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടത്.
The Kerala government admits the case against Sanita is fake.
There is some case there. After the case is over, she will come back. I doubt there will be some foul play in that. So when the Norca secretary and the CEO is going to Kuwait next week for the nurses recruitment issue, then I will definitely ask them to inquire about this and report back.
With all her hopes pinned on Umman Chandi, Shrikuti waits for some good news for her and her mother. With Revathi Rajivan, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Joining me now from Kochi is Revathi Rajivan. Revathi, we have avoided showing Sanita's photograph because we do not want to compromise on her safety. But is the family in frequent touch with Sanita there in Kuwait to know that she is safe?
Right now we hear that Sanita is in hiding. However, occasionally she does call her family members. Her civic ID and other documents have expired, and the family says that she is forced into going into hiding. Even if she is pardoned for not possessing legal documents and allowed to return, the theft case filed by the sponsor will stop her from returning home. The kind of cases that is levied on Sanita, it seems like she will serve years in jail if the Kuwaiti and Indian officials does not support Sanita.
Right. Revathi, thanks a lot for joining us on that story. And as we have been saying, if you want to tweet on this story of a 12-year-old SOS to the Chief Minister of Kerala, you can tweet with the hashtag Bring Sanita Back. And we do hope the Kerala Chief Minister takes note of the story and does something about it. Now, staying with news from Kerala, the battle of a father to find his missing daughter who went missing in 2005 has ended with finding her body in a mortuary. Smita George from Ernakulam went missing in 2005, just 3 days after she went to Dubai with her husband Sabu. And her father George has been fighting a case against her husband since then. Her family says Smita went to Dubai against her wish, and later Sabu told Smita's parents that her daughter had eloped with the doctor she fell in love with and had written a letter before she left. But when it was found that the handwriting was not Smita's and was similar to Sabu's, he was arrested in 2011. Sabu was also found living with another woman when Smita went missing.
ഭർത്താവിൻ്റെ വീട്ടിൽ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇവിടെ 2 ദിവസം നിൽക്കാനായിട്ട് ഇവിടെ വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഉടനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും അത്യാവശ്യം പറഞ്ഞാൽ അമ്മ അങ്ങോട്ട് വിളിപ്പിക്കും. അവിടെ പോകണം, ഇവിടെ പോകണം, ധ്യാനത്തിന് പോകണം, ഞാൻ ഇവിടെ ആരും ഉണ്ടാവില്ല, അങ്ങനെ ഇങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് വിളിപ്പിക്കും. ഒരു ദിവസം പോലും ശരിക്കും ഇവിടെ നിൽക്കാൻ പോലും സമ്മതിക്കില്ല.
We had tried our very best here in Kerala to find her or to inquire this matter, but the government or the police could not take a case or charge a FIR here. So that this was on the underground and no inquiries was done here. Right. Telangana and Andhra Pradesh were rocked by 2 encounters which took place on Tuesday last week. Now a special investigation team headed by an IG rank IPS officer has been constituted to probe into the Nalgonda encounter in Telangana, in which 5 under trials who were actually being taken from the Warangal Central Prison to the Nampally Court in Hyderabad were shot dead by the 17 armed escort policemen. There was hue and cry in Telangana from Muslim groups on how 5 members of their community were gunned down. Now the Andhra Pradesh police has arrested 61 red sandal smugglers, all of them hailing from Tamil Nadu in Atmakuru in Nellore district. The police suspects, the same people, were present during the encounter in Chittor district on Tuesday last week when 20 smugglers were killed in an encounter by the task force. The task force had said that there were another 100 odd smugglers who escaped during Tuesday's encounter. Now heavy rains destroyed crop in thousands of acres in both Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Crop damage was reported from several districts and mango, maize, paddy, cotton and fruit orchards were destroyed. The quantum of loss is yet to be assessed, but unofficial estimates put them at 1,000 crore rupees in both states. Now the decks have been cleared for actor Kamal Hassan's movie Uttama Villain. It is to be released on the 1st of May. Remember, the Vishwa Hindu Parishad had raised a din against the movie, saying a particular song in the movie hurts the sentiments of Hindus and had demanded a ban on the movie. Remember, his last movie Vishwarupam had also run into a controversy with Muslim groups demanding a ban, and the actor had agreed to some beep of some dialogues in that particular movie. But this time, the decks have been cleared and the movie will release on the 1st of May.
Well, exactly, Sudhir. First, the VHP had demanded a ban on this film, stating that one of the songs in this film is hurting the sentiments of the Hindus. And again, INL had joined them, saying that even in Vishwarupam, he had hurt the sentiments of Muslims. So now he is playing with the sentiments of Hindus. So INL wanted to support VSP. And now that the producers have got together, and today they held a press meet a while ago to say that they will stand by Kamal Hassan and why these groups have to ask for a ban on this particular film when the censor board clears it. So if at all they want to protest, they should protest to the censor board and not for releasing any such film was a stand that was taken by the Producers Council. Today finally they have arrived with the consensus that they will be releasing the film on May 1st, and if at all there is any such pattern, because remember this pattern has been followed in a lot of other films, stating that once the censor board clears in, there is one group or the fringe group that comes and says that this film cannot be released because it's hurting the sentiment of this community and that community. So yes, the producers have now said that a strong message sending across to people, stating that once it's clear by censor board, nobody has the right to object it. So now they will stand with your leaders and also the actors who have been facing such controversy.
Right. In fact, Kamal Hassan, remember, Srisha, before when the controversy around Vishwarupam had come out, he had said that he was extremely hurt, that he would even consider quitting the country, getting out of the country if this kind of situation comes about, that creative people are actually objected to by all kinds of fringe groups. Was that the sentiment in that entire movie-making production unit even this time, that this time the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and some other groups had also raised objections?
Well, Sudhir, it of course, puts a lot of pressure on the team, because at a time when they have been waiting for the release of this film, because remember the film was supposed to be released on the 2nd of April, and again they had to postpone to 17th, and again now that with fringe groups objecting it and also with the CG work delay, so now the film has been pushed to May 1st. So yes, at the time when the censor board clears it, the entire crew is like, why somebody has to object it at this time when it's already been cleared, and now why again for Kamal Hassan's film? Because the crew that works with Kamal Hassan for Vishwarupam is pretty much the same crew that's working here as well with the artists and directors differing. But this time as well, it's going through a tough time and waiting for the release of the film, which will be on the 1st of May.
Right. Shisha Reddy, thanks a lot for joining us there from Chennai. And now for some breaking news. In fact, 2 witnesses in that Chittor Encounter case had deposed before the National Human Rights Commission. And now the People's Watch team, which had also visited the encounter site, have had some damning revelations to make. They have said that it was a fake encounter. In fact, my colleague Kamaljit Sandhu joins me for more details. Kamaljit, what are the details that the People's Watch, which had visited the encounter site, have to say?
Vinda Grover, the Supreme Court lawyer, and as well as Henry, who's from People's Watch, had done a press conference. What they did say was that this was obviously an extrajudicial killing, basically a cold-blooded murder. They also said that they have a high-level committee which will be obviously comprising some of the former officials as well as retired NHRC members. But what they will do is submit the fact-finding or talk to both the officials from Tamil Nadu as well as Andhra Pradesh police as well as survivors. But yes, they have put up a list of demands which obviously also talks about directing for adequate security, especially for the 3 survivors. Now Shekhar and as well as Balachandran are 2 daily wage laborers who actually did depose before the NHRC and obviously gave a detail of this. But third witness, which is Ilagovan, is the main witness who actually did travel a certain distance in the bus and is the main witness to the entire incident. Now obviously there is a huge concern as far as safety and security are concerned, but so far what we've been told is clearly that a judicial magistrate inquiry has been ordered into it, and what they are obviously looking at is a suspension of officials. FIR, which they are saying has still not been registered. So yes, they're making a huge issue of it. But definitely this is also a controversy between the 2 states of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu.
Right, Kamaljit Sandhu, thanks a lot for bringing us this breaking news. In fact, even the Andhra Pradesh government is considering the possibility of handing over the probe to the state CID. Story coming in from Mysuru in Karnataka will shock you. These are CCTV camera images of a group of young kids actually trained to steal both cash and jewelry at marriage halls. In fact, what's worse, they are trained by their own parents to do so. The Mysuru police have now arrested 3 couples and 3 children. The CCTV footage goes on to show how they mingle with the crowd and slowly execute the plan. Plain and simple, they mingle with the marriage party and use their nimble fingers to finish off the job. Joining me now is Rohini Swami. Rohini, how long have they been doing this job of stealing at different marriage halls, and how old are the kids?
Well, the kids range between the age of around 7 to 12, and what they've been doing is that like it's been explained also, the CCTV footage is very clear. There's one little boy who sits amongst the marriage party, and suddenly goes up the stage. Before you know, he's just picked up a handbag which has got belongings. Most of the times when marriages take place, people do keep their gold and other things just behind the bride and the groom. The child just picks up the bag and slips away with another boy who's either his brother or someone who's part of the gang. Now, how long this has been going on is what the police say is almost 2 to 3 months. They've been getting a lot of complaints of robberies from various marriage halls in Mysore. But what is important is that the Mysore police is now looking to track down if there are similar gangs, because a lot of complaints are coming right now in terms of theft, especially in marriage halls around Mysore.
Right, Rohini, in fact, was going to be my next question. Is there the possibility of many such gangs operating in Mysore, or probably this being a small portion of a larger gang?
This too definitely could be just one splinter group of the bigger nexus that is taking place. And this is not the first time, because in the last few years also such gangs have been busted. And typically what the police have been saying is these gangs are not originally from Karnataka. They usually come as a part of some kind, they come from other states as laborers. Then they realize that they could actually make a quick buck like this. And the kind of money and the kind of gold that they get, especially when people leave things unattended, especially in marriages, because you have hundreds of people who come in, people are distracted because they're wishing the bride and the groom, and it's such a good way and a quick way of just making a fast buck and sending that gold off somewhere. So they are looking at a bigger gang possibly operating there.
Right, shocking images there captured on CCTV at a marriage hall there in Mysuru in Karnataka. Rohini Swami, thanks a lot for joining us on Up South. That's it then on this Monday evening. News and updates will continue on Headlines Today.